My name is Dan Hosier. I'm an amateur trick shot artist, and these are the level 2 trick and fancy category shots. Okay, with shot 2A, what we have for our setup is 3 balls in a row along the first diamond line. The object is to make the first ball, the 1, go into the side pocket. The cue ball is in hand, and where I like to place that is 1 ball off of the same line and right at the center diamond, so right in the center of the table. And my aiming point is going to be so that my cue would just nick the edge of the 1 if I shot all the way through. So I mean just to the edge of the 1, it should go in the pocket. Now if it goes long over on this side, then I've hit too far to the left. Maybe I've hit through there. If it hits too short, then I've hit too far to the right. So again, aiming through the edge. Just about 6 o'clock center ball, maybe a little bit of 12 o'clock English. Shot 2B is another great shot. I think it's very splashy because you make 4 balls in 3 different pockets. But it can be a little bit difficult because the setup is key, the aim is key, and where you end up cueing the ball, cueing the cue ball is key. If you miss any of those 3 things, you can miss this shot. So we're going to start with the setup. The 2 goes right on the spot. And the tangent between the 1, 2 goes through the corner of through the corner pocket, with the tangent going just a bit to the long rail side. So go ahead and tap that in, and to double check, the combo goes pretty much through the center of the corner pocket. Then we want to bring the 3 so that it's touching both the 1 and the 2. And it's easy to turn the 1 and the 2 as you do that, so double check that the 1 and 2 are still where you set those up. The 4 goes deep in the side pocket, and the cue ball is the 4th ball off the rail, off the point of the side pocket. So what's supposed to happen on this shot is I'm going to shoot into the 1, the 1's going to go there, the 2's going to go there. I'm going to carom off of the 1 and hit the 3. The 3 is going to continue to the corner pocket, and then the cue ball is going to carom off the 3 and pocket the 4. And so let's just talk a little bit about adjustments. If if my 3 ends up going to this side of the corner pocket, that means that I've hit too much of the 1. And so when it caroms off the 1, it clips the 3 pretty late. If the 3 ends up going to this side of the pocket, that means that I've hit too thin on the 3. So if I hit too thin on the 1, then it hits the 3 pretty early and throws it off to the long rail side. So those are the adjustments for the 3. And then the next adjustment is where you shoot the cue ball. If you cue too high, it's going to come off the 1, hit the 3, and then follow so that it hits the short rail, it hits the long rail short of the 4. And if I hit with too much draw, it's going to go off the 1, off the 3, and then draw back so that I miss the 4 as well. So I want to hit fairly close to center ball on that. And then where I aim as my initial starting point is I'm going to aim right for the valley between the 2 and the 3. As I get down to shoot this shot, I can see the arc of the 2 and the arc of the 3, and where those arcs meet is going to be pretty much my aiming point, hitting fairly close to center on the cue ball. If someone sets up the table like this and bets you that they can make the 1, 2, and 3 in different pockets making the cue ball end up right about where it is, don't take that bet. As you'll see in this video, it's very fairly easy to make. But before I go and show you how to make the shot, I want to go over the setup. I've got a setup here of the 3, the cue ball, and the 1. That's just about one full ball off the point of the pocket. You can see I've actually cheated that a little bit too far, so I'm going to roll the whole thing just a little bit so the edge of my setup ball is even with the point. The 2 is going to be right between the 1st and 2nd diamond and between the 2nd and 3rd diamond. It can be anywhere in that zone. I usually put it about as close to the middle as I can. Now the way you execute this shot is you actually turn things around and you shoot directly at the 2. The 2 goes into the 3, bounces off the 3 into the pocket. The 3 comes back to the corner pocket, and the 1 back to the other corner pocket, leaving the cue ball right where it is. I'm going to shoot just about center ball on the 2, and I'm going to aim for about a half ball hit on the 3. So I'm going to be aiming at the edge of the 3. I thought I'd go over shot 2A, especially with adjustments. This, position 1, is where I normally shoot this shot, and where that is on the 2nd diamond. The way that I adjust that is by actually moving my cue ball either right or left. So if I'm missing long, then I would move my cue ball up, closer to the object ball. If I'm missing short, I would move my cue ball further back. And I just kind of want to show why that is. So removing the cue here, if I put a target here for my 1, or for position 1, and then I put a ball between where I'm hitting and the target, you can see where I'm going to hit the 8 ball. It's just a little bit to this side of center. So place that back. If I move to position 2, so this is moving quite a bit up. You would never make an adjustment this big. I just kind of want to be able to really demonstrate where that is. And then I move this between the centers. That's almost dead on, and so what that's going to do is cause me to miss by missing pretty short. And so moving that back. If I move the cue ball to position 3, move my target on the ball, and then move the 3 up in between those, you can see that compared to position 1, it's quite a bit further this way, so I'm going to end up missing missing to right now my left of the pocket. Just quite quickly, I'll show the difference between 3 and 1. So we can see where 3 is, and then if I move to position 1, it's right about there. So adjusting the cue ball right and left is the way that I make adjustments for this shot. Even though pool tables are basically a 2-to-1 rectangle with the length being 2 times the width, the angles can change quite a bit when you move from a 7-foot to an 8-foot to a 9-foot. In the demonstrations, I've always been doing a 7-foot table, but I thought I'd move to a 9-foot table to kind of demonstrate on this shot. So what I did is I got some measurements from the center of the object ball to the rail, and then from where it hits the rail to where you would want to go in the pocket. So not the center of the pocket, but where you'd want want to go into the pocket. And I went ahead and did those measurements and then put it into a trig calculator because I didn't feel like trying to remember trig. So went ahead and did that, and on a 9-foot table, the angle is at a 41-degree angle. On a 7-foot table, with the length and the width of the triangle, ended up with a 42.4 degree angle. That doesn't sound like much, 41 degrees versus 42.4. But what that turns into is a 1.5 to 2 inch change on this side of the triangle. So instead of entering the pocket here, if I move that 2 inches, I'm hitting the point of the pocket. So not a big difference, but at least something that you want to think about. Even more important for this shot, though, is where we set up the cue ball, because remember that's how we would adjust our angle into the 8 is by moving the cue ball forward and back. So on the 7-foot table, I set that up right in the center of the pocket, but that's going to give me much too shallow of an angle. How much? On a 7-foot table, the measurement from the object ball to that ball should be 11 3/4 inches, roughly. So this is at the center of the table, but this is 11 3/4 inches. So think of the angle coming from here to there versus from here to there. That's going to be a pretty significant change, especially when in my adjustments I'm moving not more than ½ an inch or so. So I'm going to put that back at 11 3/4 inch, and just kind of want to quickly show where that looks like that is on a 9-foot table. So if I do that, and then I bring the ball straight out from the center and straight out from the first diamond, you can see that's just about halfway between the first and second diamond. So I've lost basically a ½ diamond in moving from the 7 to the 9. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and shoot the shot. Same way as in the video, aiming straight through the edge of the object ball. Pretty much center ball hit on the cue ball.